Gun safety, Pennsylvania has a strong background check system, but guns don't respect state borders. Now the U.S. Senate can pass comprehensive background check legislation that will stop criminals and the dangerously mentally ill from using loopholes to get guns. Senator Toomey understands how important that change is.
I'm in favor of making changes to a background system.
In Pennsylvania, almost 90% of us support comprehensive background checks. Call Senator Toomey. Tell him it's time to take Pennsylvania solutions to Washington.
Generous introduction. Ron, thank you so much for sharing our being here. Thank you to all of our terrific leaders who came out. Thank you, everyone, for coming out and joining us. I'm honored to be in the company of patriots. Today has been a very good day. Tuesday last week was a phenomenal night where we won victories all over the country, and today, on Super Saturday, we're doing the very same thing. The results are in now, and we have won resoundingly the state of Kansas. Nearly 50% of the vote. They're still counting the ballots, but it appears that tonight we have also won the state of Maine. What we are seeing happening every day is we're seeing Republicans coming together, we're seeing conservatives coming together, we're seeing libertarians coming together, we're seeing all of us unite and stand together in defense of freedom and in defense of justice. To all of the people in Kansas, Maine, in Oklahoma, and Texas, and Iowa, and Arkansas, thank you and welcome for our team becoming stronger and stronger. To all of the people who are supporting other candidates, who've come now to join together and stand united, I say to each of you, welcome. And together we're going to turn this country. We're bankrupting our kids and grandkids. Our constitutional rights are under assault each and every day. And America has receded from leadership in the world. And yet I want to tell you, people are waking up powerfully all across Idaho and all across this nation. People are waking up. And help is on the way. Focus on three critical issues: jobs, freedom, and security. Let's start with jobs. I want to talk to all the single moms who are here, who are working 2 or 3 part-time jobs, who've seen your hours forcibly reduced to 28, 29 hours a week because Obamacare kicks in at 30 hours a week. I want to talk to all the truck drivers and mechanics and plumbers and electricians, all the men and women with calluses on your hands, who've seen wages stagnate year after year after year. The cost of living keeps going up, and yet your wages don't seem to keep track with the cost of living. I want to talk to all the young people who are coming out of school with student loans up to your eyeballs, scared. What kind of future am I going to have? Am I going to get a job? Am I going to learn skills? Am I going to be able to provide for my family? You know, the media tells us this is as good as it gets. This is the new normal. Well, let me tell you, it is a complete and utter lie. It's easy to talk about making America great again. You can even print that on a baseball cap. But the real question is, do you understand the principles and values that made America great in the first place? The heart of our economy is not in Washington, D.C. It's not in New York City. The heart of our economy is small businesses all over this country. Do what we've done the last 7 years, which is hammer the living daylights out of small businesses. On the other hand, if you want to unleash the economy, then lift the boot of the federal government off the backs of the rest. We will repeal every word of Obamacare. We'll pass common sense health care reform that makes health insurance personal and portable and affordable and keeps government from getting in between us and our doctors. We will pass a simple flat tax. Where every American can fill out our taxes on a postcard. And when we do that, we should abolish the IRS. Of federal agencies that have descended like locusts on farmers and ranchers and small businesses. No. And we are going to stop amnesty, secure the borders, and end sanctuary cities. Talk about opposing illegal immigration. But if you funded the Gang of Eight, if you wrote checks to 5 of the 8 members of the Gang of Eight pushing for amnesty, you don't get to pretend that you oppose amnesty and want to secure the border. Politicians who make promises and don't keep them. We're tired of politicians who don't tell the truth. We're tired of politicians who promise us, as we heard in the debate just a couple of days ago, that they will be flexible. Let me tell you, flexible in Washington, D.C. is code word for they're about to stick it to you. Always means giving in to Wall Street, giving in to the special interests, giving in to the big corporations, and it always means that the working men and women of this country get the short end of the stick. When we repeal Obamacare, when we pass a flat tax, when we rein in the regulators, when we stop amnesty, we are going to see small businesses exploding. We're going to see millions of high-paying jobs. We're going to see nations all over the country. a couple of weeks ago, Justice Scalia's passing underscored for all of us the stakes of this election. It is not one branch of government that's at stake, but two. We are one left-wing justice away from a radical 5-justice liberal majority, the likes of which this court has ever seen. We are one liberal justice away from the Supreme Court taking away every one of our religious liberties.
No!
We are one justice away from the Supreme Court effectively erasing the Second Amendment from the Bill of Rights. We are one liberal justice away from the Supreme Court making us subject to the World Court and the United Nations and international law and giving away U.S. sovereignty. Now, you know, in the debate last week, Donald Trump turned. When he was asked about the Supreme Court and religious liberty, he said, "Ted, I've known a lot more politicians than you have." But you know what? In that, he's right. He's been supporting left-wing Democratic politicians for 4 decades. Yeah. And he said, when it comes to the Supreme Court, when it comes to religious liberty, he said, "Ted, you got to be prepared to compromise. You got to be prepared to cut a deal with the Democrats. You got to be prepared to find the middle ground." Well, let me be very, very clear to the men and women of Idaho. I will not compromise away your religious liberty. Second Amendment right to keep it. You have my solemn commitment that every justice I put on the Supreme Court will be a principled constitutionalist, faithful to the law, who will ferociously defend the Bill of Rights for your children and for me. Election is security. For 7 years, we've seen a president who abandons and alienates our allies and who shows weakness and appeasement to our enemies. You know, at the debate last week, Donald Trump said he would, as president, be neutral between Israel and the Palestinians. Well, let me be very, very clear. As president, I will not be neutral. America will stand unapologetically with the nation. For 7 years, we have seen this administration weakening our military, undermining our readiness. We've seen morale in the military plummeting, with a commander-in-chief that does not believe in their mission and does not back them up. You know, our country's faced this before. We've had another left-wing Democratic president, Jimmy Carter, who weakened the military. And in 1981, Ronald Reagan came to power. Regulations and the economy took off, small businesses exploded, millions of high-paying jobs were created, that generated trillions of new revenue for the federal government. He used that money to rebuild the military, and we bankrupted the Soviet Union and won the Cold War. Apparently they just called that we won Maine. What an incredible day this is. We are going to do the exact same thing as Ronald Reagan and defeat radical Islamic terror. We are going to unleash the remarkable engine of the American freedom free enterprise system, rebuild our military so it remains the mightiest fighting force. Will our military be governed by political correctness? We'll have a president who stands up and says to the world, we will defeat radical Islamic terrorism. We'll have a president willing to utter the words, radical. Shameful things that has happened in the last 7 years has been the president sending our fighting men and women into combat with rules of engagement so strict that their arms are tied behind their back, that they cannot win, they cannot fight, they cannot defend themselves. It is wrong, it is immoral, and in January 2017, it will end. America has always been reluctant to use military force. We are slow to anger. But if and when military force is required, we should use overwhelming force, kill the enemy. Tonight represents the continuation of what's been happening for a year in this Republican primary. A year ago, we started out with 17 candidates. Good people, a fantastic, deep field of young, dynamic leaders. We saw incredible people, and the entire course of the primary has been narrowing the field, narrowing the field, and narrowing the field. What we saw on Super Tuesday, what we saw confirmed today, is that there is only one campaign that has beaten Donald Trump repeatedly, and there is only one campaign that can and will. One of the 65 to 70% of Republicans who recognize that Donald Trump is not the best candidate to go head-to-head with Hillary Clinton. And if Donald is our nominee, in all likelihood, we lose, Hillary becomes president, we lose the Supreme Court for a generation, and we lose the Bill of Rights.
We'll write you in,
You're not going to need to, because we're going to win the nomination. Who perhaps started this campaign supporting someone else. Perhaps you started supporting Jeb Bush or Chris Christie. Perhaps you started supporting Rick Santorum or Mike Huckabee or Carly Fiorina or Dr. Ben Carson or Rand Paul. All good, honorable, decent people. Perhaps right now you're still considering supporting Marco Rubio or John Kasich. Good, honorable, decent people. But at this point, if we're going to beat Donald Trump, we've got to come together. We've got to come united. And our campaign is the one campaign that has beaten Donald not once, not twice, but in 7 different states. Welcome you to our team. For those who came today and voted in Kansas, voted in Maine, who have been supporting others, thank you for joining our team. For those in Idaho, when you vote in Idaho, we're going to have a fantastic election day here in Idaho. I want to ask each and every one of you not just to come out and vote, but to pick up the phone and call 5 other people, call 10 other people, call your friends, call your family, call your neighbors, and say, this election matters. It matters for me. It matters for my kids. It matters for my grandkids. If everyone in this room gets 10 other people to show up and vote, the men and women in this room can quite literally control the outcome of the election here. From the people. You know, the answer to our problems in this country is not any politician, it's not any political candidate. We've had 7 years of a self-centered narcissist in the White House. We've had 7 years of a president who believed that his election would magically stop the rise of the seas. And it's not going to be any politician, it's not going to be Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton, it's not going to be Donald Trump or me that turns this country around. The only force powerful enough to do it is we, the people, the American people. To give us Ronald Reagan. And I am convinced the most long-lasting legacy of Barack Obama is going to be a new generation of leaders in the Republican Party who stand and fight for liberty, who stand and fight for the Constitution, who stand
That's it, guys.